Hey everybody, this is HD. Welcome back. It's time for the next series of games in the HD World Tournament, and it is still the round of 8 actually. It is going to be Noni, our Protoss player, down in the top, or bottom left-hand corner, excuse me, of Tal'Darim Altar, and his opponent is going to be Select, the Red Terran, at the top right-hand corner. So far in the HD World Tournament, I know I haven't really spoken too much about the brackets and how the players have progressed thus far, but I do want to do that as soon as the round of 16 is finished, and this is the second to last game in the round of 16. Following this game, I think the last series that I need to cast is Sen versus White Ra, aka known as Duckload Ra. So that is the final series in the round of 16, and following that we will be advancing towards the round of 8, and then I'll go ahead and I guess do a little bracket video just to update you guys on how the tournament stands so far, where the players are at. And I know that this tournament has kind of been going really slowly. I've been kind of uploading games on a every 2 to 3 day basis, and the real reason for that is because the players have really been taking their time playing out these games, and understandably so. A lot of these guys are still in South Korea. A lot of them were playing for MLG when it was hosted in Dallas, as well as the TSL. A lot of different tournaments going on, and so the players have really been I guess they've been taking their time to play out these games, and I didn't want to cast all the games in the round of 16 and then, oh no, you know, wait a couple weeks for the round of 8 to finish. And in fact, the round of 8 has kind of just begun for the players. They've just started playing out their games, and so I've really had to space these games out just so it wouldn't have huge time gaps in between the games. So I hope you guys understand. And of course, I'm going to be casting different games throughout this tournament as well. If things really take a long time, I'll be casting some more exhibition games as well. But so far, all the round of 16 games are completed, and I'm hoping to cast the rest of those today. It looks like Select here, getting back to this game at hand, will be throwing up a barracks right at the center of the map on Tal'Darim Altar, and man, what a way to start this game off. This is super gutsy. Well, you know, actually, throwing up this barracks at the front right here doesn't really mean that it's a proxy or anything like that. It's just, this is part of the natural of the Terran player, and you can build your buildings here, and eventually, I suppose, kind of wall this off a little bit, but really in Terran versus Protoss, you don't want to wall off, and whoa, look at this, Noni already immediately going down with his probe, and he sees the barracks down there, so he knows that Select has gone with this kind of a strange 2 barracks opening. This is not really common in Terran versus Protoss to open up with 2 barracks, and now what is this SCV doing down here? The one thing I can think of right now is perhaps we're going to see some kind of a 3 barracks attack, which is a very popular strategy in the lower divisions of StarCraft, where Terran players just go for 3 racks, bum rush the Protoss player with concussive shells and stim, and we can see concussive shells on the way right now, but you gotta wonder, is Select gonna change up his strategy now that the probe has scouted out that barracks? Noni now throwing up a second gateway. For all you guys who are wondering why I'm calling him Noni, that's kind of his original handle back from the old days of Brood War. It is now changed to his actual name, Tyler, but I'll still be calling him Noni just for you know, for posterity's sake. I don't want to mix it up too much. At least in my mind, I'd be getting confused. We can see now Select is gonna finish up that concussive shells, and is he gonna get stim as soon as that finishes? We can see 80 gas, 94, 84 gas, 88 gas. He's also coming off the line with a couple of SCVs here. So I gotta assume Select was originally planning to go for some kind of a 3 barracks attack, but now that it's kind of been scouted out, maybe he's just gonna go for 2 racks aggression. That is 2 barracks aggression, and then maybe he'll throw down a command center. I don't know. This is a very strange timing for Select, and you got to know that Noni knows this is coming. He saw the second barracks. He's chrono boosting stalkers out right now, and his warp gate is almost finished as well. So wise of Noni here to get 2 gateways up. He's going to have the same amount of production as a Terran player, and he will be able to pick off these frontal SCVs, which Pain User kind of likes to call linebackers. They're the guys in the front who take the damage, and with 5 stalkers here, even though these Marauders have concussive shells, I think that Noni will be able to win the battle. He actually loses a stalker there as he tries to micro it back. Now you guys can see he's getting Twilight Council as well. No doubt for Blink is going to lose a 3rd stalker, and now down to 2. But like I said, he wins the battle. He has the larger economy here. And really, what is Select doing? I'm so confused. He's not getting stim right now. Actually, I was looking at the wrong gas counter right there for a moment. So he's actually the red. He's at the top. So I was looking at Noni's gas counter when I was thinking, what is he going to get stim? And now he's actually going to bunker up. So he's going to bunker up, and he's going to get his command center down. And wow, right now Select is certainly behind in this first game. Remember, this is a best of 3 in the HD World Tournament. And Noni now has map control. He's got higher technology with Blink on the way. And he's also getting his 3rd gateway down. So it's going to be 3-gate Blink Stalker aggression. No doubt we're going to be seeing some pylons at the center of the map. Here's the first pylon going down, and Noni now going to try to basically do a little bit of counterattacking with his stalkers, and we'll see what kind of damage he can do. He's going to push this SCV away, going to get that SCV away, and he's going to have the Xel'Naga control just outside of the natural expansion. And wow, look at this. Noni is now going to start to warp in more stalkers. His warp gate technology has now finished, and as has his blink. So Noni is going to now apply pressure at the same time while grabbing a natural expansion. I love this play. This is beautiful. And Select, wisely, he has bunkers up, but you gotta wonder how far behind is Select right now. He has less economy, he has less army, in fact, and he's really kind of walled inside his base right now because he opened with this 2 barracks play, and it just has not paid off as he would have liked it to. And Noni went so good with the blink micro, man, pulling the stalker back when its shields are depleted so it can regenerate in the back. And these stalkers may actually pick off this barracks. Select now trying to repair the barracks. It will get picked off before the rest of the SCVs can get there. And Noni now taking a huge lead in this game. Select has been downed to 2 production facilities. He's not really using the factory for anything, so essentially 2 barracks versus Noni's 3 warp gates, and that is just going to have a snowball effect as the game continues forward. Now Noni able to warp in 3 units, whereas the Terran player can only bring in 2 at a time. Even this reactor core here is just kind of chilling there. It has absolutely no use right now, and oh no, Select is actually, what is he doing here? He's going to the back, maybe to check for warp prisms or something, or maybe he thought an observer was there. But he is really far behind right now. In this game, units lost tab showing that Select losing in terms of units lost as well as units per resource amount lost as well. So he's really just trying to pick up the pieces here, but he's got to deal with this frontal aggression. And Noni with that blink, man, he could just do a quick sniper attack on one of these bunkers and then blink back, and he really doesn't have to lose any forces at all. And that's just the power of the Protoss player when controlled in the hands of somebody at this high level of play. We can now see he's also getting double forge upgrades here, weapons and armor. Really nice here, just kind of rounding out his army because he's really got all mass stalkers. He doesn't have any reinforcing units such as zealots or sentries, so he's gonna try to bulk up the stalkers' kind of fragileness with more upgrades. The +1/+1 gonna really come in handy. And right now Select is gonna be throwing down his 3rd barracks again, and he's getting dropships. So I actually like this, guys. Going for dropship play when you're kind of walled in, when you have no map control, this is what you want to do. You want to go for dropships, and you want to start to mobilize across the map and backstab the Protoss while his army is at the center on this wide map, which is Tal'Darim altered. You can load up your dropships and then go attack the back doors, go hit the natural expansion, go hit the main, pick off these facilities. Noni here, maybe you're doing a little mind reading already, has a couple zealots here just kind of waiting. Wow, warping in 3 more. So Noni here, he doesn't even have an observer inside of Select's base, but he knows right now the only thing Select can do to get back in this game is dropship play, and he's already got forces. Look at this, he's got forces at the natural as well. He's got 3 sentries, 3 zealots, and 6 zealots chilling at the main. So, and he's chrono boosting his +2/+2 weapons right now. So wow, Noni is just taking a massive lead in this game, guys, and I honestly don't know how Select can win this. Remember, momentum is just going to play a huge role. Moving on to game number 2, Select now is getting Ghost Academy. I like that. Interestingly, he hasn't really used his dropships at all. It almost kind of looks like Select wants to just ball up a big ball and then try to move out, but look at this, his army tab is suffering hugely behind. He's about 20 supply behind, excuse me, and his economy is still behind as well, as it has been since the beginning of this game. Just opening up with this 2 barracks play, it just doesn't really work, especially if you're playing against Noni, man, he's gonna scout you, he's gonna see that 2nd barracks wherever you hide it, and he's gonna be well prepared. And now we actually have Select starting to move out across the map. Noni already prepared with a much larger army. Sentries are going to be key here, guys. The force field splitting the army in half, and really, this is just such a small army. Look at that army. It's like a handful of ragtag Marines and Marauders with 4 dropships in the air. Something just got destroyed right here. It looks like it was it was an SCV. Poor SCV. Scouting gets destroyed and realizes, wow, that is a big army. And really, Select is going to have to... One of 2 things I see him doing here is double expanding. It looks like he is going to get at least 1 command center down. Or utilizing those dropships that I've been talking about. I mean, he's built 4 already, and it really surprises me that he has not mobilized his dropships. He has not moved them across the map and tried to attack Noni, because he knows he's behind, and he knows it's going to be a snowball effect if he doesn't make something happen. Here we go, Noni now grabbing that 3rd expansion. And Tal'Darim Altar really just offers so many safe havens for this 3rd expansion. It's quite easy, especially in Terran versus Protoss. You're not going to expect some kind of a flood of units coming through this area right here. So Noni now grabbing the 3rd. At the same time, Select grabbing his 3rd. So Select is keeping pace, but he's still kind of holding a gap against Noni. So Noni really has an advantage wherever this game kind of goes. Now we do have Select going for Infernal Pre-Igniter. That's kind of interesting, and he's actually going to land the factory where this reactor is. So we're going to see a little, I guess, a little bit of mixture of Hellions, along with what he's already produced, 3 Ghosts here, guys. And this is what I'm talking about. If Select can use these EMP shockwaves in the right amount at the right time against the Protoss ball, and if Noni unwisely balls his units up and he can EMP all the sentries and deplete all the shields of these zealots and stalkers, that can be the determining factor in the big battle. And one other thing here is Noni really doesn't have that many Colossus out. He is starting to get those Colossus numbers out as he's kind of been using his gas to build up upgrades for his weapons and his armor, so he hasn't really had the time to make Colossus, but now he's starting to get Colossus numbers out. So I would say right now that Select has closed the gap just a little bit, and the reason for that is because Noni didn't really capitalize on his advantage earlier on in the mid game by going for a double expo, by trading armies. He didn't really capitalize. He just kind of sat back. And even though Noni didn't really make any attacks with his dropships happened, he has kind of narrowed that gap. Now we can see the economy only 5 harvesters apart. The army only, well, still a pretty big gap, about 25 supply-ish, maybe, yeah, about 24 supply-ish. So it's still a pretty big gap in terms of army. So Noni still holds that small gap. And we actually have a really large number of Hellions now, along with Marines and Marauders, and now Vikings in the mix. Select here is getting almost every unit except the Siege Tank and Thor in this army composition here, and I really like this. I'm actually, there's so many health bars here, and I may actually have to, I'm gonna maybe start turning them off from here on out because they can be kind of cluttered. But here we go, Select grabbing a 4th. Noni also grabbing a 4th of his own. Select coming in with his SCV just to do scouting, just to do his due diligence, and sees that, yes, Noni does have a 3rd expansion, and really, both these players, I think, are just bulking up, and Noni has been waiting to get to 200, and now here we go. He has reached maximum supply, and if you're a Protoss player and you're not going to push out around when you have an advantage around the mid game and you have like 150, 160 supply, the next best thing, mass up to 200 supply and then push out. And this is what Noni's done. He's waited for 200. He has minerals and gas banked up, and he is going to actually go for a big attack against Select. Select, meanwhile, is also pretty close to max. Here we go, EMP shockwaves landing and taking out all the energy from some of the sentries at the front, some sentries at the back, now laying down the force fields. These force fields are not the most efficient, only picking off 2 Marines, and that's what Noni wants. He wants to waste the energy on the force fields. Now the EMP shockwave doing huge amounts of damage against a Protoss ball, and these Colossus have no shields. The sentries have no more energy. Thankfully, Noni has a ton of zealots. They're kind of running themselves forward into the Marauders, and it looks like Noni is going to win this battle and subsequently most likely win the war. I do not see Select winning this game from this point forward, as Noni just has a much larger army. Oh my goodness, this is going to be certainly a good game. Select here has a ball of units, but it is going to be picked off by Noni's much larger ball. And yeah, Select is just struggling to get reinforcements out. So he tried with his Ghost to EMP shockwave the Protoss ball. That didn't work out as expected. And It looks like Noni is going to win this game, ladies and gentlemen. He is going to... Wow, his Zealots are just destroying the SCV line right here, guys. And a couple more shockwaves going down over the Colossus. Some Hellions coming in from the factory, but not much they can do. They're actually more like running away from the burning factory than trying to go to war. And now the rest of the SCVs coming off the mineral line, but with a Colossus in the back here. Oh, man, that's just going to be pain. It's gonna Select is gonna GG out of here, and really Noni just held on to a lead the entire game. Select kind of playing a little cowardly. He didn't move out with his dropships. I didn't see him mobilize his forces and do what I would have expected any Terran player to do when they're behind, is start to use their dropships. And look at this massive grid of gateways, aka warp gates here. Wow, that's a lot of warp gates for Noni, and that's kind of showing how powerful the Protoss can really become at the late game with 4 robotics facilities. Good Lord, that's a lot of robotics pumping out Colossus. And of course, Noni can afford that with 4 bases, even though he didn't really have any saturation here. Nice play by Noni. That's game 1 in the HD World Tournament of the round of 16 between Select and Noni. And we are going to move on to the next game in this series. HD signing out. Stay tuned, guys.